Welcome back. School's almost out. The kids are about to be spending more time at home. So now's the time to get your kitchen in order. Professional organizer at MaryJo Monroe joins me now in our kitchen to help. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, let's start, with the kitchen counter because it's kind of a catch-all, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So how do you organize things?
Well, I always feel like the kitchen counter is always a work in progress because it's probably your busiest room in your entire house, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like how many hours you're spending, people walking through it. So in terms of getting space back on your counter, there's a bunch of ideas. The first idea is these stacking bins. So the cool thing about these is, of course, you can use them to put fruit and veggies that you're trying to ripen up, like your avocados and tomatoes. But the thing that I also use them for is what I call the eat this first category. So it's like when you have in your pantry all those half-eaten bags of chips and dried fruit, and you're like, I just really want to throw these out, but I shouldn't. So you can have the family try to eat those up first. When they're like, Mom, I'm hungry. It's like, here, eat this last little bit of chips so we can throw it out.
Yeah. Love that. Okay, and then you've got something for oils and vinegars, Lazy Susan situation.
Yeah, so that space beside the stove, it can get really cluttered and you can run out of counter space quickly. So we like these kinds of Lazy Susan, some people call them turntables. You can get the ones that are flat, but I like the ones with the high side on them. So when you're spinning things, when you're actively cooking quickly, you're not like having your oils and vinegars going flying. And the other nice thing about it is that it keeps that area around your stovetop a little bit cleaner because otherwise it gets sticky, it gets oily.
Sure, you can keep the spill contained sometimes in here too.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just makes it super fast to grab what you need when you're cooking.
Yeah, and then this is a flower pot.
That
is a very unique way to hold these utensils. Talk about that.
So I have to tell you, this is my #1 most liked post on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And it is this ceramic flower pot. So a lot of people in their kitchen will use those straight up and down utensil crocks, for all their spatulas. Or they'll use even a flower pitcher that kind of goes in at the top. But the problem with that is all of your utensils have these big tops to them. And so then when you're cooking, you're in a rush, you're trying to grab something, it can be hard to pull them out.
Yes.
They don't actually fit that much. So we always recommend using these ceramic glazed flower pots instead because it makes it super easy to grab what you need. When you're unloading the dishwasher, you can throw it back in. It actually holds quite a bit. And then the cool thing about it being glazed ceramic is that, this comes in a million colors. So you can definitely find a color that'll match your kitchen decor.
Yes, love that. You're right. They're always getting jammed up when you try to pull something out.
Right. Yeah, you have the potato masher in there in the ladle. You're not going to get anything out there.
Yeah. Okay, and then this near the kitchen sink.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of like with the oils and vinegars, when you have all your soaps, your hand soap, your dish soap, it gets super oily and slimy kind of quickly. So having that corralled in some sort of organizer by the kitchen sink can be really helpful to give you back that space. And sometimes with people's kitchen sinks, they really don't have that much space between the faucet and the backsplash.
Yeah.
So having this kind of corner unit is actually really great. And I found that on Amazon, not very expensive, solves a lot of problems.
Yes, and I love how there's separate compartments for each thing. I don't know if that helps too.
And the other nice thing about this is that the bottom part is angled, so all of the drippy stuff slides right down into your sink.
See, you think of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then finally, we have this product back here.
Yes.
Something great for the counter because, every kitchen has a junk drawer.
Right.
So you have a solution to that.
Yeah, so what we have found over the years is helping people organize their kitchen counters. It's that so often a lot of stuff on the kitchen counter doesn't necessarily need to live in the kitchen, but it ends up on your counter. And so some of it could go into a junk drawer, but if you have a small kitchen, like you're living in an apartment, you might not have enough drawers for a junk drawer. So we like to use these acrylic stacking drawers instead. And that way you can subdivide, put your little categories of things, it gives you a spot for the reading glasses, the gum, the birthday candles.
Yes, and you can see things so much better than when you're in the crowded drawer.
Grab it, and you could put it on your counter if you want, but it could also go in the dining room on the buffet if you have a table in the hallway, just something that keeps it all corralled together.
Love it, great idea. Okay, I have to ask you, are you a toaster on the counter family? Or are you a toaster in the cupboard family?
Okay, so we are toaster on the counter family.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think with appliances on the counter, first of all, it's really good to assess every so often, like how often am I using all of these big appliances? You know, the toaster might be daily, but are you using the air fryer every day? So we encourage people to only have the appliances on the counter that they're using at least once a week, and then the rest can go somewhere else. And so like if you have like the small appliances, like a hand mixer, things like that, we'll just allocate a deep drawer for that. But some of the bigger appliances, that might be something like your lower cabinets. For us in our house, we have, you know, a basement storage space, and we put those big ones down there.
Nice. Well, kitchens, you said, is one of your #1 job.
Yeah.
You can do this professionally. She can help you at your house. So how can people get in touch with you and hear more about your tips?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can go to our website, which is respacedpdx.com, or they can find tips at our Instagram at respacedpdx.
All right. Thanks for coming. I always love your tips. I always end up taking one of them home with me, so I appreciate it.
Oh, love that. Great.